Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's dementia presentation brought to you by Cassia and Emerald Crest Memory Care. Our topic today is You Can't Know What You Don't Know. We're going to be looking at different resources available through a new means, a website that you're going to learn more about today called Dementia Map. My name is Christine Drasher. I am with Emerald Crest Memory Care. I want to just go through just a couple housekeeping matters with you real quick. We prefer that you keep your video and your audio off during this presentation, as we are recording and we want to make sure that it works out well with audio through the recording. We will have some questions at the end of the presentation, and depending on our numbers of attendees, we may turn mics on at that point, or we may take questions through the chat room. The other thing I will mention, if you are a healthcare provider, we will have a CEU available at the end of this. I will remind people who need CEUs to put their name in the chat room, and then we'll make sure that we get that off to you. To get us started here, I'd like to just get an understanding of what or who is in the attendees. And so I'm going to have a quick poll that we're going to do. So I'm going to launch it here. And if you can just take a couple seconds to just click on what pertains to you, so that we can get an idea of who is on the call today. We'll give it a couple more seconds here. All right, Lori, our presenter, can you see those results on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. All right, thank you for doing that. We really appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to just start off by introducing the sponsor for today's event. Again, I mentioned my name is Christine Drasher. I'm with Emerald Crest Memory Care Communities. I have actually been with Emerald Crest since 2001, so we have been around for quite a long time. In fact, it's over 20 years. So we're very proud that we're one of the first memory care providers in Minnesota, and continue to be a very well-known memory provider in the Twin Cities. We do have 4 locations in the metro. We have one in Burnsville, Minnetonka, Shakopee, and Victoria. We are a unique model of memory care because we have more of a home setting. We built our homes to be one level, easy to navigate, and there's 12 units to a house. And each of our communities have multiple houses on them. So we actually do different levels of dementia care. We have an early stage house, a middle stage house, and a late stage house. And what makes those different is the different types of programming we provide, and even some of the staffing levels within those houses, depending on the need of those individuals. Like I said, we've been around for a while. Our philosophy is rooted in the belief that individuals with dementia are unique and can flourish in an environment that provides them with opportunities for positive relationships, participation in daily care, and meaningful activities that promote success. Emerald Crest is solely dedicated to memory care and offers unique programming to meet those residents' needs. So as I mentioned before, we're a nice home-like, quiet environment. For those with memory loss, we have all sorts of different types of memory loss, not just Alzheimer's. We do have different diagnoses as well. And so if they need 24-hour care, we're a great option for that. We focus on ability rather than disability. We really, again, focus on their level and make sure that they are receiving the proper level of programming and socialization. We work with nurses and occupational therapists on our campus. They are the care managers who really set up the care plan and work closely with our caregivers and the residents on a regular basis. And we have a very thorough employee training program for our caregivers who are working with the residents on the floor. on a daily basis, and we really spend a lot of time training them on dementia so that they have success. As I mentioned, our 4 locations, I do have the addresses listed here. These will be available for you after the presentation as well. And then I put our website with our phone number and our admissions person. Her name is Liz. Her phone number is right there. If you're interested in learning more, you can give her a call and she'd be happy to set something up with you. Also want to just share with you a little bit about CASIA, which is the organization that we belong to. If you're not familiar with CASIA, the name CASIA, you might be familiar with the name Augustana Care or Elam Care. CASIA is actually is the 2 organizations came together and created one organization called CASIA. Their mission is foster fullness of life for older adults in the spirit of Christ's love. So those 2 organizations merged together and created this wonderful association that we're able to really share our mission with several different communities and even states throughout the nation. We have majority of our locations are in Minnesota. We also have some in North Dakota, Colorado, Florida, and Iowa. And you can see there we have all different levels of housing. Our website is there if you want more information about those. We also have partnerships with a lot of other services, hospice, home care, pharmacy, medical supply, technologies, and rehab. So we really have a great circle of care within CASIA for anybody who is in any of our communities to access any of these services very easily. Again, there's our website there if you'd like to learn more about that. All right, so we are going to get going on our presentation today. I'm very excited to introduce to you Lori LeBay. Lori is a change agent for Minnesota, known around the world when it comes to dementia care. Just ask Oprah, Maria Shriver, Dr. Oz, AARP Minnesota, or the National Institute for Dementia Education, who have all recognized her cutting-edge approach to shift global dementia care from crisis to comfort. Her own mother lived with dementia for 30 years. Lori left a 25-year career as a residential realtor specializing in senior housing and launched Alzheimer's Speaks, an advocacy and multimedia company which gives voice to all, including those living with dementia. Her multiple platforms educate, raise awareness, shifts perceptions, and shares resources with families and professionals regarding all forms of dementia and caregiving. She is also a co-founder of Dementia Map, a global resource directory which launched in November 2020, which has been a dream of 36 years. So we are going to go ahead and welcome Lori. So please go ahead and start, Lori, with your presentation.
Okay, sounds good. I just want to share the poll here with everybody,
Oh.
so that you can see that. Basically, we have 40% of family caregivers and 44% professionals. We don't have anybody here who's concerned about their own forgetfulness, and then we have 16% who are interested in just learning more. So I want to thank you all so much for participating today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. So let me just get to the right page and show you what Dementia Map looks like. Like Christine said, this has been a dream of mine for 36 years, really almost 37 years, from the time my mom first got dementia. I totally understand what it's like to be a family member that feels lost and doesn't have the resources, products, tools, and information they feel that are out there and that they deserve to have. And so Dave Wiedrich, who is the founder of the Memory Cafe directory, which actually has 5 different directories in 5 different countries, and I joined forces to develop this. And we've been really excited about this. I want to give you kind of some background, again, in terms of why we developed it and how we developed it. We really wanted care partners and people with dementia to have free, accessible access. I know personally what it is like to feel limited and feel like I have to rely on businesses to give me information. I know there's a lot more out there today than what there once was. But I also know if you go and Google something, you're going to get 3 pages of paid ads, and there's a lot of things that you're not going to see. And we wanted to make sure that we had an even playing field for big and small companies, because every service, product, and tool that is out there was developed for a reason. And that reason is there was a need for that information to get out there. And we wanted to empower families and people diagnosed to be able to explore that on their own without necessarily someone else judging what it is that they need at any given time during the progression of the disease. I know for myself, I felt abandoned and frustrated when my mom was diagnosed. We weren't even given the number to the Alzheimer's Association. And I'm sorry to say that that still is the majority of cases out there. So one of our goals is we really want to get this into the hospitals and clinics. And we know we can use everyone's help in terms of doing that, because they're a little sidetracked right now with COVID, needless to say. We wanted the site to be easily accessible. We didn't want any moving parts because we know people with dementia can get distracted, but we also know that care partners can. Care partners, caregivers, care companions, whatever you want to call yourself, a spouse, a son, a daughter. I can't remember how many times I was up in the middle of the night Googling for information. So we wanted to be able to have something that was easy to go to, non-threatening, where you weren't asked for personal information up front. So many sites nowadays have pop-ups that say, who are you and what are you looking for? And we know that there's great fear wrapped in people getting scammed or people just getting pestered to purchase some type of product or service. And we didn't want that happening. There's enough pressure out there with families. We also know that as a society here in the United States, we have this belief that everything has to be in our backyard. And that is the case when it comes to maybe a hospital, a clinic, or maybe adult day, or a community like Emerald Crest or those of Cassia. But so many things, we can get great information from all over the world that can help support us. And that is an absolute critical paradigm shift that we have to help people understand. We also, with this site, not only wanted it to be a resource directory where people can search categories, which we have about 150 categories right now. We also wanted to be able to have events, because people are saying, how do I find things? And so there's a lot of free resources, and I'll take you through the events calendar. And then we also have a glossary that's developed. And you can see all of those on the black line. Those have our major tabs along with our blog. Those in blue are really for the end user. And people always say, who is the end user? The end user is absolutely everybody. To me, that is one of the problems that we've had, is we are distinguishing who needs what. And I can't tell you how many families have asked us for a flyer to be able to share this, as well as organizations who have signed up to have their information in the directory. They're surprised at the things that they don't know. And one of the reminders I want to give people is, especially here in Minnesota, we are kind of leaders in our country when it comes to dementia-friendly communities. Like Act on Alzheimer's, was initiated here. I actually started the first dementia-friendly community in Watertown, Wisconsin, and now we have Dementia Friendly America out there. And we wouldn't have those concepts if we didn't connect with people out of our country, because that's not something that started here. Same with memory cafes. We have over 1,000 of them now. And that was not something that, somebody here in the US just thought of. And so it's important for us to share initiatives so that we can not have to recreate the whole wheel, but really share what's happening so that everybody can take part in that. With the directory, we also did not want to be a middleman. We didn't want a referral fee. We didn't want an affiliate fee. We want to connect families directly to services, products, and tools. So there's no lag time there. There's no interference with that. And again, you don't have to worry about being pushed or sold. We are growing this site organically by word of mouth. That's really how I've done everything with Alzheimer's Speaks. And I'm a big believer in kind of that soft sell and that word of mouth. That's how I did my real estate business for 25 years prior. And, you know, I've grown Alzheimer's Speaks to over 2 million contacts with me now. And so we want people who want to be in this directory. We didn't want to load it with people who didn't even know, or organizations that didn't even know they were part of the directory. We really want to give that a personal flavor. So there is an inclusion there. We also wanted a site that was easily shareable. I know what it's like to try to find information, and then it's like, how do I share it with my family or friends or whatever it is? This is a site not only can people with dementia and families use, but for professionals to be able to share with their clients and help reduce their time searching for items of need. You know, families are typically really comfortable doing those searches and feel empowered when they have access to that information as well. So that's kind of a basic reason why we started this site. So let me give you a tour, and I'm going to start with the resource directory itself. So we understand that everybody learns differently and everybody does their searches differently. So somebody might like to use the keyword box, somebody else might like to search by a category, somebody else might like to search by the cards, and all of those are available. But I want to show you exactly how that works. So in the search directory, you can go ahead and type in anything you want to type in. So I'm going to put in here radio because there are a lot of radio shows, which is fascinating, all around the world that are doing this now. And I think that that's fantastic. You know, I started the first radio show dedicated to dementia back in 2011, and it's so nice to see others come on board because we're all doing it different. We all have a different voice, and it's a way that families and professionals can get information, but still be doing other things, still be able to multitask. And so you can see down below when I put on radio, you can see the dots on the map here. And you can also see down below our different sources of information. And I'm going to just show you one here. This is TDW radio in the UK. And this is by Pete Hill. And Pete mixes in music with his interviews. And so it's really kind of a fun show to listen to. We have a Cup of Comfort with Trish Lab. And she is a coach, she's an author, and she does some great interviews on hers. And then, of course, you've got my show as well. And I'm just going to show you with these cards here, some of these have little tags by them. And so I'm going to just click on the one for my particular show. When you click on a card, you get the logo, you get the name of the company, their tagline, you get their descriptive, which could be as long or as short as somebody wants that to be. And then you have contact information. How do you get to their radio show? So you can go ahead and click on that. You can go ahead and send a message to them. And the little tag that you saw was actually to be able to download a piece, which I've just attached. It's basically 43 tips to help people in terms of communication. And so people can go ahead and download that. For ads that are paid members here, they have a little bit more information. So they can load pictures. There's a geo search. So you can see where they're located. They have all their social media along with the areas that they covered for categories there. I would recommend, as we're talking, go ahead and write down any questions you have. We're going to wait until the end to take those. Another way that people can search is by location, which is really important, especially if you're looking for a housing community or a clinic. So you can search 5 miles to 200 miles where you're at, or you can search by city, state, and country. Or you can search by all by just clicking that, and you'll see what pops up there. Now, you can also look at all of our categories. And this is kind of funny because Dave and I, we argued over this. And he's like, Lori, it's too much. It's overwhelming. And I said, I want all the categories listed. And the reason I wanted all the categories listed is because I think it is critically important for people to know that there is help. I don't think this is where people are necessarily going to search from. But when families, excuse me, my allergies are kicking in. But when families get a diagnosis, they are so overwhelmed and so undereducated in terms of where they can go. To me, as a family member, I would find this really hopeful. So we know that that's a lot of information. So we broke that down into 7 different categories. So one of them is activities. And so we have adult day, which we're hoping they're going to come back in line. We have advocacy programs, arts and crafts, fitness and exercise, brain fitness, choirs, memory cafes, spirituality, reminiscing, seasonal, sensory, relaxation, lots of different things, and then online activities as well. And I wanted to put in here volunteer opportunities. And, this hasn't been hopped on too much, but I'm hoping that more businesses are going to click this and want help from the outside. I think COVID has really brought that to a high level, the importance and the need for us to volunteer and to give back. And from what I'm hearing from people all around the world, there are a lot of people that want to get involved. And so I think it's time that we take advantage of that and really begin the team. So I'm going to just click on Memory Cafe activities and see what pops up here. And we've got some individual memory cafes. I'm going to point out a couple of them to you. One is the Memory Cafe directory. And I'm going to scoot by all the basic information, and I'm going to take you directly to the website, because that's the goal, to connect you directly to this information. Now, this is my partner, Dave Widrick, who's out in Oregon's site, and you can see they have listings for the US, Australia, Brazil, Canada, and UK. And one of the things that I have found over my years in this space is a lot of times people will say, well, I'm in Minnesota, that's all that's important to me. But how many friends do you have that aren't in Minnesota that maybe you want to support? Maybe they're in other countries, or families are dispersed all over. It's really important that we kind of get out of that space and into what is actually needed out there and expand our kind of team of care. So here you can click on the Cafe Connect, and Cafe Connect will bring you to the virtual memory cafes, and it brings you to a whole calendar of them. You can also go, let me go back here. You can also go to Memory Joggers if you're looking for some free engagement tools. This is just kind of a fun thing, and I'll just pull up one of these for you. But Dave has pulled together a bunch of phrases, so this can be done with family. This can be done individually or in a group. And it's just kind of a fill in the blank with common phrases there. And so with that, an example is easier said than what? Done is the answer. So again, it's something that you don't have to do a lot of work with, but it is something that can give you some great content there. There are also cafes that are now coming online, or not coming online, but are going offline and starting to meet in person. So up on this main line here, you can pick up if you want the Cafe Connect, which is virtual, or do you want to go to one of the countries and see who is meeting in person? And again, a few of those are starting to happen. So I'm going to go back up here. I also want to share with you Dementia Mentors. Dementia Mentors is a really important group. This is a group that not only offers memory cafes, but if a person is recently diagnosed, and actually they can be in early stages to mid stages and still partake with this. It doesn't mean that they have to come straight from the doctor's office, but they can sign up to be mentored by somebody with a similar dementia to them. You see, those people know what it feels like for people to treat them different, to look at them different, to communicate with them different, and as we know all too well, sometimes to pull out of their lives. They have many memory cafes that they do. I want to say they're like 40 a month that they do, 46 gatherings a month they're doing. And this is connecting people all around the world via Zoom. They also have some great videos here, and you can go to their archives. These are short little videos all done by their people living with dementia on a lot of different topics. So this is a great resource, not only for people with dementia, but their care partners as well. So that's just a couple things there. And then I want to show you also in this this cafe with this let's see, here we go, back to activities. I also want to show you a group called Maria's Place. So I'm going to search on the arts and crafts here. And Maria's Place actually was started by a woman by the name of Maria, who is, I want to say she is in Scotland and her niece is in Colorado. But this is a really cool spot that can be utilized both for families and professionals alike. As you can see, they have a lot of creative activities from crafts to journaling to, I'm going to go even down to recipes here. And what is unique about this site is the majority of stuff on here is free. But here they do little demos of, how do you make these things and how do you adjust what you're doing if it's an activity like cooking or if it's drawing or painting or arts and craft or movement by the level of the person with dementia. So it's really cool. They've got coloring, seasonal activities. They have caregiver stories. Mind and Body has word games. They've got quizzes, brain games, scenic videos just to kind of calm somebody down, along with meditation, exercise, and massage. The list goes on. And then under their shopping and resources, they have activity programming. So here, communities can actually purchase activity packets that will be sent out with a whole schedule of activities and supplies, the whole 9 yards. Same with caregivers can do the same thing. They can buy these packages as well. And oops, I clicked on the wrong thing here. They can get supplies and kind of a packet of information for them at home to go ahead and participate in as well. So I love that site, and it's constantly expanding and changing, but wonderful, wonderful free resources. Next, I'm just going to go over our education section. And in here, we have everything from getting diagnosed to end of life. But for me, one of the things that was really important with this was to have an area of living with dementia and also voices of dementia and voices of care partners. We've gotten much better, but one of the things that we used to do was really talk medical or academic speak in our information. And again, the last 5 years, we have gotten much, much better with that. But there are so many great informational pieces out there that are done by people in the trenches, either diagnosed or living with dementia. I gotta clear this out one more time. And then we have housing. We have basically a variety of communal type housing that people can choose from here. We have a media area, and this is where you can find out, where some videos, some podcasts, some blogs, maybe a newsletter or books is really important. And I'm just going to click on books here and show you. And again, we have just touched the peak of the iceberg with all of this. There are so many great references out here, but I want to point out a couple. One is Nana's Books, which is something I just learned about. And this is a wonderful, wonderful series of books that has such a great variety. So they have things from sing-alongs to if you're a fisherman. They have things for vets, babies, all kinds of, they've got kittens in here, all kinds of different things that people can go ahead and check out. And what's nice with these books is they have a big picture or artwork and then few text words. And so depending on where somebody is in the disease, maybe they can still read, but they don't end up getting lost on the page, which they tell us is a problem. It's nice large type, nice big photos. If they're not able to read, this is something that people can read to them, or you can just reminisce on the pictures themselves, which is fantastic. Let me go back here because there's one other one and I have to see where they are here. The All's Authors, I want to point out to you because All's Authors has over 250 books and blogs and podcasts that are out there. And you can see the different categories of the books. So they have caregiver guides, they have memoirs, they have poetry, novels, anthologies. They have books specific for children and kids, and also personal and professional blogs. So this is a wonderful, wonderful resource. And I'm just going to click onto their site quickly here for you, so you can see this. And it's just a nice uplifting site. And they just do a great, great job. They actually, before COVID, they were doing a kind of a traveling library, which was really cool. And, but they had to, of course, shut that down. And so they're always doing new things on this site, but it's, again, a great, great resource for people out there. Let's see, I'm going to close this down and we will go back here. Clear this out. I'm going to go to products. Here we've got things from adaptive clothing, which a lot of people don't even know that exists, to medical products, to hygiene products, technology, safety, music. I'm going to go ahead and click on hygiene and do that search. And right now we've got a couple. One is Handy Medical, which is local to us. And you can see here all of the different things that they have to help people, not just incontinence, but they've got shower heads and shower chairs and all kinds of information here. And I'm also going to share with you Cine. Cine has a little downloadable piece here, which is nice, and they're giving out free samples. So instead of having to go out and buy a case or a big batch of incontinence products, you don't even know if it's going to be the right size or fit, you can either call or email them to get some samples set out to you, and kind of step into that, because that's a big change for people, and we understand that. We have support services. So here, a lot of people don't know that there are care managers out there. We have clinical trials. We wanted to make sure that we have diversity, inclusion, hospitals and clinics. Some of these are not full yet. We're still reaching out. And again, everyone is welcome to be part of this. So word of mouth, we definitely appreciate. We've got palliative care, hiring staff even is an issue, telehealth, therapists, we have travel services. So I'm just going to click on that one. Travel is a big thing that is happening in our world. And you can see Home Instead has popped up here, that home care agency that is, able to help with travel companions. We also have Senior Travel Companion Service, which is very specific. This is what Carol does. She was an attorney at one time, and her clients were aging. And so she started taking them on trips. And this is what she does full time now. And she does everything from going to a wedding to trips anywhere in the world to helping people relocate. So there's just lots of fun things out here. We also have a group out here that actually started in Minnesota that is working with TSA now in terms of travel, and they are excuse me, they are training the TSA to be better when it comes to that. So that's kind of fun. We have a B2B section here because we know there's a lot of businesses that need information and support. So maybe they're looking for a public speaker or education and support. Maybe they need care management. Some might need help with website design or social media. All of those things are important there. I'm just going to go to the public speaking here and show that. So we've got several different people who can speak out here. Again, Cine is an incontinence product, but they are more than welcome to be invited to speak and talk about this. They really want to get people in their comfort zone and be as independent as possible. We've got here Dr. Walsh, who happens to be local here, and he has come up with a diet. Dr. Walsh was kind of a renowned allergist here in Minnesota. He got to the point where he really couldn't speak very well, and through his diet, he's regained his abilities to communicate, and he can actually go out and speak now. Caregiving Kinetics is out there. Carrie Barrett used to be here locally. She's now overseas, but she can still do work for us. Sue Ryan's husband is going through the process, and she has really become a caregiver coach. And I'm trying to find Loretta. You should have been in here, I thought. I didn't double check her, but Loretta Venny is actually with us today. And I am going to go ahead and put her name in here because she is oops, I didn't clear my search here. She is absolutely fantastic in terms of speaking. And she's got a really fun thing that she is doing right now in terms of engaging people with Legos. She's written a couple of books. She is just a doll and a half. And so if you're looking for an inspiring speaker, I highly, highly recommend Loretta, who is I think, online with us today. So let's see. I want to go, I think I skipped something in support services that I thought was important too. I wanted to make sure that we also listed charitable organizations. So many of you have charities and nonprofits, and a lot of people don't always know that. And so we wanted to make sure that that was available for people to be able to find as well. And then last, there are two other ways that you can search the directory. You can click on a dot and see what is out there. And I'm going to go. I'm going to go to Minnesota just because let's see. There we go. Go to Minnesota and see who all is out here, since that is where we're based right now out of. So we've got the Travel Companions. We have Inherited Stories. We have various communities out here. This is the Dementia Friendly Working Group with the airports I was talking about. Caros Live, which is a movement company. There was Emerald Crest, which you can get to. Health Star Home Health, which is a home health care agency. So, and then if you want to get involved with our dementia-friendly community, the Roseville Alzheimer's and Dementia Community Action Team, feel free. So it's really easy to get to any of these, and you just go ahead and click on them. It'll bring you right to their page, tell you what they're about, and then you can go straight to them. And Roseville, to my knowledge, still is the only city that has dedicated a page in the nation to Alzheimer's and dementia, which is pretty cool. So again, we're pretty progressive here in Minnesota, which is really fun to see. Last, you can just go ahead and dig through all the cards here. So these advanced two are all different trials that are available. We have people with dementia like Kelly Boone on here. We have just lots of great things. Here's a Mind to Care again, which has more activities on here. Let's see, we have Phoenix Center for the Arts on here. My dementia chats, if you have people who are interested in speaking who have dementia, I do a video every month. They pick a topic and talk. Life Talks, I'm going to click my way through here because this is pretty cool. This is overseas, but it is, she has both an app and cards that help families have a conversation in a private manner. And there's two different programs. One is your life story. So it gets people talking about their history and what has happened, kind of that legacy piece. The other is Life Wishes. And you can invite members in, or you can, again, purchase the cards on here, which is really, she's really done a nice job with that. So the list kind of goes on and on. Truthful Loving Kindness here. She is living with dementia. She is extremely organized, and she has a wealth of information on her blog from dementia symptoms and how to maneuver through that. She has other people's sites on here, Living with Dementia, dementia success stories, just lots of great information. So, you know, it's easy to kind of peruse all of this and get lost. I want to go next to the calendar of events. And the calendar of events is, we have basically three different levels. We have a free level, and then we have two paid levels. One is $365 a year. The other one is $800 a year. And those two levels get to be able to put on their activities, whatever they might be. If they're podcasts, if they're fitness, if there's just so many different things. Some are for fee, but many are for free. And we have things from all over the world on here, from just conversations with Teepa Snow to some of her actual programs. Here's one, Take a Walk in My Shoes. So this is just kind of a fun thing to go ahead and be able to peruse through. I'm going to click on this one here. This happened to be one that I just did today. And Dementia Dialogues is actually a free educational program. There's like 5 different sessions to this that they break down through South Carolina. And you can sign up for that. They also have an Alzheimer's registry, which I wish we had here in Minnesota. But you can get all of their contact information here to find out more, or you can listen to the interview with that. Now, the nice thing with the calendar is also what we do on the side banner here is we put the next 5 events up. And so as you can see, our event is up here at the top, and as soon as it hits 3 o'clock, it's gonna pop off of there. And it's always really easy to access. We also have a glossary of terms, which we just started. And so this gives people just some really easy access. It allows banner ads for our featured members here, because they go here. Featured members also get an ad on the header, and they also get one on the footer. And then our pro members get to be listed as a featured resource on the side banner in 2 places where that rotates all the time. And then our blog is also listed here. And one of our goals with our blog, again, we're fairly new at all of this, is we would love our members to write articles that match up with a glossary term, because then we'll take those glossary terms and have a read more. So it'll give, again, more visibility. If you just want to see what has changed, you can go to the side banner and see recent blog posts there. And I'll just click on one so you can see what it's like. So it always gives you, of course, the name. It tells who wrote it. It gives you a direct link to that company. Same with the direct link with the logo. People can put in photos or video. And then again, at the bottom, it highlights who wrote it with those direct links once again, because we want to make sure that our partners are lifted when it comes to this. We also have in the white area, this is more for people who want to join, are thinking that they have services, products, tools, or information that they want to share. So they can go to join Dementia Map. And on here, we've also had a huge request for people, from people, to have a shareable piece. They wanted to bring a piece of information to the forefront. And so they wanted something they could share with family and friends and businesses they feel should be in here. So we talk about the shock, the worry, and the hope and the comfort that can come when you have those resources. We wanted to highlight also that this isn't just for family and friends. This is for medical professionals. This is for organizations and communities, as well as government agencies. It's time for us all to work together. Again, highlights, we've got over 150 categories with 7 main categories to search and what all is on here. And then, you know, when people feel supported, they can get back to laughing and living a life. And then we ask them, you know, who do you want to share this with? How can you help? Because people do want to help. We also have in our member library, because we've had so many people request this as well, to share Dementia Map on their website. And so here people can go ahead and add in the logo. They can either use this horizontal one, or they can use the square one. And what I tell people is, if they are a member of the site, if it's free or one of the paid ones, it doesn't make any difference. Don't bring them to our homepage, bring them to your page, because that says not only do you believe in this global effort to bring resources together for everyone, but that you are a part of that as well. And so with that, I'm going to kind of close up, and we can open it up to some questions. So let me go ahead. I'll keep this up. But if you have any questions, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, that would be wonderful. And I will try to answer whatever it is.
And I would suggest, Lori, if you're not comfortable unmuting yourself and asking a question, feel free to type it in the chat room and we can answer it as well.
Great. One thing I will point out too, just in case, because we do have almost a little over half the people here who are professionals. There is, under the Dementia Map, you know, Join Dementia Map, you can, you've already had kind of the live tour here. You can go up to our category list. This is a one that's a little bit easier to read than on the front page, to kind of see where you fit in. As well as you can always go down to the pricing and plans. This tells you all about the site. It talks about the free starter plan, the pro, and the featured, what actually you get. One of the things we just added is a daily shout out. So it's a rotation for our paid members on our social media platforms as well. And photo galleries can be added. We haven't found a limit to those at all. And again, events are unlimited that you can put in. And then for the blog posts with the pro, you can submit one a year. With the featured, one a quarter, and then the featured also gets a downloadable piece that could be a variety of different things there. So do we have any questions or any comments? A quiet group, that's unusual. Let's see. Christine just put in the chat box if you need CEUs to make sure that you put your email address in here. And Eunice, it looked like you were going to write something, but it just came out Lori. Do you want to unmute yourself and talk, or did you want to write more in the chat box? There's Eunice.
Hello. I was just going to say, I'm like so impressed, Lori. We haven't talked in so long, but this is just amazing.
Oh, thank you. I am just like thrilled to death with this. Like I said, this is something I have wanted for almost 37 years now.
Yeah.
And, you know, now it's just getting everybody together. We're not putting people in that don't know they're there. We want businesses here who want to respond to families and other professionals. And so, you know, we're trying to make it reasonable in terms of cost for people. There is no cost for family at all. And again, you can always start with a starter program. You know, all are valued.
So to put Dementia Map, like a link on my website, Lori, is there a fee for that? Just so
Absolutely
people.
not. Absolutely not. Nope. You can go ahead and you don't have to be like a vendor who has a service product or tool. We have had a lot of families and individuals with dementia who are pushing it out on their social media, you know, wherever, you know, it's all word of mouth. I've been having requests to do this presentation to support groups as well, because they want to know how to utilize this information. And every day it changes, you know, and that's what's exciting for us to see.
Yeah, it's really cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
So I have a question. Can you hear me?
Randy.
So everything seems pretty simple here. So how do you simply sign up?
Okay, so if you are a family or a professional who just wants to look at the site, there is no signing up at all. Everything is easily accessible. We didn't want to intimidate anybody, but if you have information that you want to get out to people, then you would go to this Join Dementia Map on the black line. And then you would go down to the, I would say go to the pricing and plans first to decide what level you want to be. And once you've decided that, then you go to the sign up. And I can actually show you how simple that is. So I'm just going to click on the starter plan here. Sure, I am.
So you look up Dementia Map then is what you do online then? Or
Yep, just go to dementiamap.com. Yep.
okay.
And so I clicked on the starter plan, but I'm going to go to my site, one of my plans, so then I can show both what the free one is like and the other. So for here, for me, I've got on here Alzheimer's Speaks Radio. And so if you're a free plan, you're just going to get this first box here. And it is going to ask you for your organization name, who's the contact person. It'll say your street address is optional. So for me, I speak internationally, but people don't need to know my home address because that's where I work out of. So I don't put my street address, but I do want a blue dot on the map. So you want to make sure you at least put your state down on that. I don't even put down my phone number anymore because of so many scam calls. I figure if people are online, they can reach me via email or through my website. And so if you're free, you would just say, click save and continue. If you are a paid member, it's going to show you what level you are, if you're a featured or if you are a pro member, and it'll ask you for your contact or for your credit card information. And you can either pay those fees annually or you can pay them monthly on that. And you just save, click and continue with whatever you are. You will automatically get a welcome to Dementia Map. It'll confirm your email address, and then it'll give you a password. Now the password cannot be changed, and the reason it can't be changed is we don't want somebody with a real simple password making the site vulnerable. So if you forget your password, not a big deal. You just go up to the member area, sign in, use your email address and say, I forgot my password, a new one will be sent to you. So once you do this initial part, then you can go into the profile. And the profile will know if you are a starter, you get to choose one category. If you are a pro, you get up to 5. If you're a featured, you get to choose up to 15 categories. They're all in alphabetical order, so you just pick those out. The next segment, it will come up with the card, which shows up on the bottom of the map there. And it'll automatically pick up your company name. So all you have to do is upload a photo. And then there's an area here, I think it's up to 80 characters for a tagline. Down below is the description. And this can be as long or as short as you want it to be. And you can, have that all set up on a Word document and just paste it on in there if you like. Otherwise, you can go ahead and edit, very simply on here. And that would be for your free one. If you are a pro member or a featured member, you can upload photos. Now, what I like about the photos is you don't have to size them out. So when somebody clicks on them on the front end, they'll just expand so that people can see what is going on there. And then, and again, we haven't found a limit to these. Some people have an awful lot. The paid members also can list all of their social media links. I haven't found anybody who's done a Better Business Bureau one. And then there's the ability for the featured to go ahead and do a downloadable piece here, which you just upload a text. So it's very, very easy to use. The other thing I should show you is if you want to add an event here, I'll show you what that looks like too, because that's very easy to do. First, you have to sign in. And then it's just going to ask you, right now we just have in-person and virtual because most everything's still virtual, but we know over time we'll have to change that to kind of a geo search. You add your title in, you add your start date and time, your end date and time, the location. So for me, like with Alzheimer's Speaks Radio, that's our location. And I could put in the specific web address there. But I put that down below under the event address. And then you upload your picture, whatever graphic to go with your event. And again, this is for paid members. You put in your detailed description, and you're going to want to make sure you put in your contact information and you save it. And with both the events and also the resources for the directory, Dave reviews all of those typically within 24 hours. And if you're like me and make mistakes, so for example, if I made a mistake on, I'll just go to one of my radio shows here. All I have to do is click on that. And because I'm signed in, it has an admin here. And then I can click on admin and it brings me right to anything I want to change. So one time I put this in and for whatever reason, I somehow made it be a daily event for a year. And so I had to change that. But it was just a quick fix. Our goal is to really keep things simple for people, even when it comes to making the ads for the banners for paid people. We have here promote your brand. and people have been loving this. Down here, it shows what size would be on the header, and then also the glossary page, as well as the sidebar and the footer, which are both the same size. So again, we're really, really trying to keep it very simple for people.
Well, that's the question I have is, so my dad is in the Burnsville house number 3, Bob Peck. And I just want to join this, the free one, and this other stuff's just more to confuse me.
Okay.
So I would just, is there a link anywhere? I just have to, like an email that for today, or I just have to try to find Dementia Map in a search?
I'll make sure that we send some information out, because Christine was going to do a follow-up with people. So I'll have I'll make up a little step-by-step for you.
That makes it so much easier, yeah, for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Randy, and we'll probably have this link to our website as well at some point too. So we'll
Okay.
have a couple different ways for you to get on.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's otherwise I'm
Yes.
confused. I'm pretty good with computers, but I get way confused here. So
No
thank
problem.
And you can always reach out to me as well, and I'll step you right through. We can do a Zoom, and I can help you through the process as well. Again,
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anybody else have any other questions? I know we're a minute over, and Christine said we could go to 3:15 max, but I just want to make sure that we are respectful of everybody's time here.
I don't see any questions on the chat. Again, if you're a healthcare provider and you do need a certificate of education, please put your email in the chat and I'll make sure you get that. For others that aren't healthcare providers, if you have other family members that you think would benefit from viewing this, I will be sending an email probably next week with the link of how to see the video recording of this as well.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. And again, if you think of questions after the fact, please feel free to email me. In the beginning of the chat, I did put down contact information as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lori. Oh, we have a couple comments. I'm just going to make sure the chat room, there's no questions. Nope, looks good. Everybody's saying this is fabulous. Thank you. So some great information and congrats on a wonderful site. You had this dream and it is coming to fruition. So good job.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, a couple things to finish up here, and I apologize if you hear my dogs barking in the background. Emerald Crest, we're very excited. We're going to actually be on Lori's show, Alzheimer's Speaks, next week already. So if you're interested in learning more about Emerald Crest, and we actually have a family member who's going to be joining us to kind of share their experience with looking for memory care for their mother. We're going to be on 4/29 at 1 p.m. So we'll probably send a link out to that as well at some point, but I'd love for you to join us for that. If you have any questions, if you don't receive a link to the recording, if you don't receive your continuing education hours, the last screen I have here is my email address and our website. So feel free to connect with me at any point if you don't get that, but it usually takes me a few business days to get everything in order, and then I send out a link to everybody who signed up. So so look for that next week sometime. So all right, let me check the chat room one more time. Looks like we're good. Thank you, Lori, and appreciate everybody joining us, and we will connect with you through email soon.
Great.
Thanks and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye.